Over to you, Mr. Niranjan De Silva.
Thank you, Tushini, for that very kind introduction. Good evening, friends. We have been discussing a lot of things about AI, generative AI, and then on entrepreneurship. And what I was thinking is basically we have these waves coming, right? First it was the PC wave, personal computer wave. And then people thought, wow, computers are now becoming affordable to everyone. And when these computers come, what are we going to do? What are we people going to do? Because everything is going to be taken over by computers. And then a few years later came the internet wave or the internet revolution. And then all these computers are connected. They are communicating to each other. Now what are we going to do? And then came Google and other search engines, where it became so easy to search information on the net. And now we have AI and generative AI. So in my opinion, it is just another wave. It is another wave. So what I like to share with you is, we have these different waves coming. How do we ensure our personal success with whatever wave we get? So let's look at AI, artificial intelligence. Now we already have some intelligence there, right? We already have some intelligence there. That's our natural intelligence. Now we have another outside source, artificial intelligence, and maybe a generative artificial intelligence, which will help this intelligence over there. And it might make us smarter, brighter, or even brilliant. But it is only one aspect of your traits or your personal growth. What, in my opinion, friends, everything that we have there, your BSc, MSc, MBA, PhD, whatever the intelligence, everything that you have there, I would call that the hard skill. That's a hard skill. That's the intelligence. That's what we have there. But there's something very much more important outside, which is very much more important than the hard skill. And you know what that is? That is what I call the soft skill. And I've worked with many companies, including some multinational companies. And, how much this hard skill is worth as a percentage, if you take a percentage as a percentage, how much do you think your hard skill is worth? What you have there? It is 20 to 25%. In fact, recently, one of my friends who's working in a German company, a president of a German company who has a technology company, right? He said, even if you have a first class honors degree in computer science, electronic engineering, and an MBA, or even a PhD, you get only 25% maximum 25% when you come for an interview. So basically it is 25% of your net worth. And then when I asked him, why is it so low? He said, Niranjan, remember one thing, these technical qualifications, whatever this intelligence that people have, it only opens a door. Your qualification and the qualifications and the intelligence, whatever you have, it only opens the door. You need that because otherwise the door won't open. But once the door opens and you come in to the organization and the door closes and now you're within the organization, it is definitely not worth anything more than 25%. So that's it. So whatever these things that we are talking about, AI, generative AI, whatever that goes to help these analytical skills that we are improving, right? That's 25%. So then the question is, where does the balance 75% come from? And okay, let's ask this first, the question first. Why is it that the hard skill is 25% and the soft skill is 75%? In fact, they said from next year, they will be reducing the value for the hard skill from 25% to 20%. So we better go at 20-80. So hard skill, everything, the knowledge, everything that you have is 20% and the soft skill is 80%. So you may ask, we are working so hard, to get degrees, to get postgraduate degrees. And are you saying that it's only worth 25%? We are working so hard, round the clock, spending so much money, getting these qualifications. Is it only worth 20%? Are you sure? Yeah, I'm sure. And why is it only 20%? Because unless you have that balance 80%, which is called soft skills, you are unable to bring this out. Simple as that. You are unable to bring this out. Everything is there. But if you are unable to bring it out, how will the organization benefit from whatever you have there? How will your customers benefit from? And how will the country benefit from? You know, working at Bistec, and there might be other people joining from other organizations for this seminar. You go to meet a customer to do a pitch, to sell your product or service. What is the skill that you need? I mean, you might be a brilliant person. You might know this. You might know your solution inside out. But if you're unable to articulate that and give the customer benefit, do you think you will ever get that deal? I've seen so many smart people going to wrap up millions of dollars or millions of rupees of business, and they cannot wrap it up. Brilliant hard skills, very weak soft skills. So friends, first of all, let's realize hard skill is 20% and the soft skill is 80%. Now let's look at 3 top soft skills that organizations are looking at. And in fact, there was one question for Jeevan. I saw, with AI coming in, will AI take over some of our jobs? There was a nice question. Unfortunately, I think it was not put to Jeevan, but I saw there was a question with AI coming in. Is there a risk of us losing jobs? There is a risk of losing the job if you don't have the soft skill. But if you have the soft skill, definitely will not lose the job. With AI coming in, you will be able to fast track your growth. So what I'm going to discuss with you for the next few minutes is to fast track your growth. How do you maximize the use, or how do you exploit your soft skills? What are the top skills that organizations are looking for? First, top soft skill that organizations are looking for, any organization, I'm sure including Bistec, is the leadership skill. You go to organization, they're asking whether you have the leadership skill to take your department, take your company to the next level. Do you have the leadership skill? So they are looking at your leadership skill. And if you're a good leader, you're called a good leader because you have followers. Some people think they are great leaders, but then they look to see no followers. So then even though you think you are a great leader, if you have no followers, you're not a great leader. You think you're a leader, but you're not a great leader. But if you're a great leader, you have followers, and the followers are there, say, hey, that one is a great leader. We want to be with him or her and take this organization to the next level. You are considered a great leader. Now, if you are being considered a great leader, you need to have one skill to get the team to support you. And what is that skill? You should be able to influence and inspire. You should be able to inspire and influence your people. It's only when you inspire and influence people, they will be with you. They will come with you, and you take the organization to the next level. So the key words are inspire and influence. Now you ask yourself, to inspire and influence my team members so that I become a great leader, what is the skill that I need to inspire and influence? Unfortunately, I think the organizer said that they don't allow for interaction here. So maybe I ask a question and I give the answer as well. And I'm not very comfortable, because I only see myself on the screen. I have seen enough of my nice face on the screen. I would have liked to see some of the participants, but I don't know whether with the technology used in this particular program, I can see someone. Yeah, I can see Thushi because she introduced me. She's the only one whom I can see.
Yeah,
I would have. Pardon?
I'm here.
I know you're there. Okay. Yeah, at least I think you better be there, because then I can make sure that the message is getting through. Because I always analyze the body language. While doing a presentation, I analyze the body language to make sure that the information is getting through. properly. But Tushni, it's okay. Huh? I mean, if you have to attend to some other things, even if you have to switch off the video now and then, no issue at all. Okay. So coming back to inspire and influence. To inspire and influence friends, what is the skill that you need? To inspire and influence your team members, the only skill that you need is a communication skill. If you do not have good communication skills, how can you inspire your team members? How can you influence your team members? I don't have much time to go in to detail, but I'll just give you the basic stuff, right? But there's absolutely no doubt. Foundation of leadership skill is communication skill. And it was very clear many years back, about 15 years back, I interviewed the top 25 CEOs of this country. And the message that came out from all those CEOs, the top 25 CEOs of Sri Lanka, is they said, I think I was able to get here because I had good communication skills to inspire and influence the audience to make it a ₹1 billion company. Okay, so foundation of leadership skill is communication skill. Second top soft skill that organizations are looking for, motivation skills. Motivation skills. So that means you're working in a team and you have to continuously motivate. You have to continuously motivate the entire team to achieve a higher level of performance. Now you are the team leader and you have to continuously motivate the entire team to achieve a higher level of performance. Now to motivate the team, what is the skill that you need to motivate? Because unless you motivate the team, they don't get to the next level. I'll give you an example. I'll give you an example. Assume I've had a fantastic month in July. So I'm working somewhere and I've had a fantastic month of July. And then my boss comes to me and says, hey, Niranjan, wow, man, what a fantastic performance in July. You're a great guy, man. You're a great guy. Super performance. Congratulations. But Niranjan, with your good communication skills and with your energy and your dynamism, I'm sure, man, you can double this target. You can double this target within the next 2 months. And I'm telling you, if you can't do it, nobody else can do it. Will I be motivated? Sure, I will be motivated. What if I had a boss who comes and says, Niranjan, last month, good performance, huh? Good. Anyway, can you try to double it next month? Will I be motivated? No. Same message. Same message. One message will completely motivate me. The other message will completely demotivate me. So what is the difference? The difference is communication, the communication skill. So again, there is absolutely no doubt the foundation of motivation skills, whether you are a good motivator or not, will depend on your communication skills. So now, friends, this is the situation, right? Leadership skill, the foundation is communication skill. Motivation skills, the foundation is communication skill. The third top soft skill that organizations are looking for, team working skills. Can this person effectively work in a team? And if you are the team leader, you are working in a team and then you are being identified as the team leader because you are the best in the team. And if you are the team leader, it is your responsibility to make sure that the entire team is synchronized to achieve the team objectives. And then once we get to the objective, what is the reward or the celebration? So the keywords there for a team leader, are you in a position to synchronize your entire team? And to synchronize your entire team, the most important skill that you need is you should make sure that every team member is crystal clear in what is expected from him or her. So every team member should be crystal clear in what is expected from him or her. And then when we do our part, when we do our part, how does the team move forward? And what is the ultimate destination we have to get to? And once we get there, what is the reward? So how are we going to do that? Or what is the skill that you need to make sure that your entire team is synchronized to achieve the team objective? They say the team means together everybody achieves more. And you have to synchronize this entire team to achieve the team objective. That means every team member should be crystal clear in what is expected from him or her. No confusion, no ambiguity. What is the foundation, friends? Communication skill. Most of the time, teams don't succeed. Okay, teams don't succeed because of two reasons. Sometimes a team doesn't succeed because there's more than one leader. So one thing you have to understand, one team, one leader. See, even if you take our cricket team, the captain will change from time to time, but at any one time, there's only one captain. So the first rule in a team, one leader at a time. That leader can change from time to time, but if one team has more than one leader, sure recipe for disaster. So you assume you have one good team and one leader. And then it is your responsibility to achieve the team objectives. And that is where your communication skill comes in. Many years back, about 6 years back, I attended a conference in Toronto and a Toastmasters conference. And in this Toastmasters conference, the keynote address was delivered by F-16 pilots, Air Force F-16 pilots. So I was wondering why the Toastmasters got F-16 pilots to deliver a keynote address at a Toastmasters meeting. So these guys came in the Air Force uniform, the full Air Force kit. And they started their keynote by saying, if you make a mistake in business, you lose dollars. If we make a mistake in F-16, we lose lives. And therefore, we will share with you some techniques on how we ensure we do not lose lives when we go on a F-16 mission. You might be able to use some of these techniques in your business to ensure you do not lose dollars. So what did they tell? They said before they go on any mission, there is extensive planning. Before they go on any mission, they have extensive planning. They put the entire map. On a table and then say squadron leader. Squadron leader John is the squadron leader of this particular mission. So squadron leader John and his team of pilots are there. The map is there, and every minute detail is discussed. To an operations and maneuvers to the split second. The one split second wrong decision, many lives can be lost. So they said before we go on a mission, extensive planning. And at the end of the planning, every team member should sign a document saying that they have understood everything required for that mission. Maybe something that we can also look at organizations, right? In fact, I'm practicing this in some of the organizations where I'm consulting, even at board meetings. At the end of the board meeting, I get the key decisions and I tell the board, some of the directors, or at least all the directors, to just sign the document, because then later on, 1 month later, they can't come and say, oh, really? Was I supposed to do it? Yeah, you were supposed to, because here you have signed the document, right? Okay, I don't know. Maybe you can check. I'm only giving you certain tips, right? How to get the best out of the team. So before they go, complete planning, and everybody has to sign a document saying, yeah, we know what we have to do, and we will do that to make sure that this mission is a success. Then they go on the mission. And when they come back to base, within 30 minutes, they have to remove all their uniforms. They remove their medals, badges, everything, and everybody gets into a casual attire. They get into a casual attire and they sit round a table, and that table is called the debriefing table. So in the debriefing table, friends, there is no hierarchy. This squadron leader John is no longer squadron leader John in the debriefing table. He is just John. That is the beauty. And even the most junior pilot who was part of the mission can tell John, what the hell did you do, man? I mean, hell was not the word that they used in Toronto. I don't want to use the word that they used there in Toronto, but basically even the most junior pilot can tell John, what the did you do, man? You went to the right when you should have gone to the left. And nothing can be done. And they said, ladies and gentlemen, success of F-16 missions depend on our team working. And how effective is our team depends on what they call open communication. Open communication. Everyone's ideas are heard and no hierarchy at that stage. Something for us to look at. Something for us to look at. Do we listen to all our team members? Do we get their ideas? Because the problem is, at operational level, there's a lot of information. At operational level, there's a lot of information, but not much authority. Not much authority. When you go to the top, there's a lot of authority, but not much information. So imagine if we can bridge this gap. If we can bridge this gap, we can make our organizations very much more productive and efficient. So that is from F16. So friends, now see, this is reality. Leadership skill, foundation is communication skill. Motivation skills, the foundation is communication skill. Team working skills, the foundation is communication skill. And that basically accounts for 80% of your net worth. The communication skill. So that is why you should not worry whatever these waves are, AI or whatever. If you can develop your communication skills, and when you develop your communication skills, with that you develop your self-confidence, and with that self-confidence you develop your leadership skill. Ladies and gentlemen, whatever technology that comes, you stand out because you have perfected your soft skills. About 6 years ago, I had to recruit an engineer to be sent to Japan for a fintech project, financial technology software project. And the first few interviews were done by a recruiting company. And we were having the final interviews at the Taj Hotel in Colombo. And the final interviews were done by me and 2 Japanese guys. So looks like 3 Japanese guys. I also look a bit Japanese now. That is because I've been working with the Japanese for about 30 years. One young guy walks in for the interview. He was properly attired, and that's another very important thing you have to be concerned about. The power of first impressions. Power of first impressions. Do you know how long it takes for a person to make his or her first impressions about another person? This is all the part of a soft skill, right? There's research done at the Stanford University in the United States on what they call first impressions. And it's in seconds. So again, I cannot get a feedback from you. So I'll ask you the question and give you the answer as well. My question is, how long do you think it takes for a person to make his or her first impressions about another person? The latest research says 9 seconds. 9 seconds. 9 seconds is all you have to make a good first impression. And you never get a second chance to make a good first impression. So that's the first thing you have to remember, friends. Watch your 9 seconds. Watch your 9 seconds, the first impressions. Now that's why when Tushini introduced me, I was all ready to start the session, right? Now what would have happened? Tushini introduces me. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Niranjan De Silva for our next presentation. And then I come on. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It gives me great pleasure to be here this afternoon, and I am going to discuss with you the importance of soft skills. And you will wonder, how is this guy going to discuss about soft skills? First impressions. 9 seconds is all you have. Perfect your 9 seconds, when it makes a huge difference, because the research goes on to say, number one, first impressions are made within the first 9 seconds. Secondly, it says if you get your first impressions right, even if there are minor problems, glitches, it is not noticed. However, if you don't get your first impressions right, however much you try, the impact will not be the same. Now that is serious. That is serious. So this research clearly says you make or break yourself within the first 9 seconds, because you never get a second chance to make a good first impression. So this guy, when he walked in, and the attire is part of the first impressions, right? Because when you look at a person, we should be able to say, okay, this guy seems to be a person that we got to take seriously and listen to him. So his attire, everything was okay. And then he came and sat down in front of me. I smiled. I said, good morning. Please tell me something about yourself, please. That's all I told him. He looked at me and asked, is it about me? Can you believe? Can you believe a person coming for a final interview with us and I tell him to tell something about himself? He's asking me whether it's about him. As if I'm going to tell him, here, can you tell something about me, please? I was shocked. So the first thing I did was I sacked the employment company that did the first few interviews and sent the guys to this final interview over here. And again, I mean, if the Japanese guys were not there, I might have been a bit rude because I'm an impatient guy, you know, I'm a bit of an impatient guy. I would have told him one or two things, but because the Japanese guys are there, I've got to be very cool. I told him again, excuse me, in one or two sentences, can you please tell us something about yourself, please? Again, he mumbled something. I didn't understand. And as I told you, my biggest weakness is I am a highly impatient guy. I don't know why I'm so impatient. I'm still trying to figure that out. So when this happened twice, I basically gave up. And I told the Japanese guy, you better have a chat with him. Maybe he speaks Japanese. And when I told that to my Japanese friend, my boss, you know, vice president, my Japanese friend did like this. And he said, Mr. Niranjan, I think you better look at the CV. Because I had not looked at the CV until that time. You know why, friends? Actually, I stopped looking at CVs. I stopped looking at CVs about 27 years ago. About 27 years ago, I stopped looking at CVs. You know why I stopped looking at CVs? Because many people had international standard CVs, but they were not international standard. So then I thought I'm wasting time no reading CV. So I told HR, human resources, human resource department, you read the CV, you do anything with the CV. But when a person comes to me for an interview, I will only look at the CV if I am impressed with the person. But when my Japanese boss says, you better look at the CV, I better look at the CV. So I looked at the CV and I got a shock of my life. I got a shock of my life. First class honors degree in computer science from a top university in this country. While getting that first class honors degree, he has also finished one part of SEMA accounting. And here he is in front of us, struggling to tell us who he is. So I told him in Sinhalese, can you please take a seat? In Sinhalese, I told him, can you please take a seat in the reception and wait for about an hour? I want to finish these interviews and come and speak to you because I can't carry on the discussion in front of the Japanese. So I asked, will you wait? Again, he responded like this. I was not too sure whether he'll wait or not. So I told my department secretary, take this gentleman to the reception, give him tea, coffee, brandy, whiskey, anything. Don't let him go home. So I finished my interviews and he was there in the reception. I went and I had a one-to-one chat with him, one-to-one chat. I said, hey, what happened, man? I mean, when you walked in, your first impressions were good. You looked great. You had a nice smile. I smiled and I told, tell me something about yourself. And then you look at me and ask whether it's about me. I'm not going to tell you to tell me something about me. Why did you do that? Your first impressions were shattered. And then I said, you know, I had not looked at the CV because I don't look at CVs prior to an interview. I only looked at the CV when my boss told me to look at the CV. And when I looked at your CV, man, you have an international standard CV here. Having an international standard CV like this, why couldn't you confidently tell us who you are? I was quite mad with the guy. He was a very cool guy. He smiled. He smiled and he came out with this Sinhalese term. And you know what he said in Sinhalese? Sir, piru no kale, dia no sale. My pot is full, and when my pot is full, I don't have to shake it. I was speechless for a while. So I thought for a while and I asked him, hey, man, how do I know that your pot is full? It reminded me of that movie, There was a movie that came. I don't think you all would have been born at that time. There's a movie that came when I was a small boy. It was called The Party. The Party. Peter Sellers was the actor, and he was acting as an Indian man. Peter Sellers was the Indian guy, and some guy asked Peter Sellers, "Hey, who do you think you are, man?" There was some argument, and this guy asked Peter Sellers, a European guy asked Peter Sellers, who was acting as an Indian man, "Who do you think you are, man?" So Peter Sellers smiled and said, in India, we don't think who we are because we know who we are. So maybe something like that. Maybe something like that. So I asked him, I mean, you might have a world-class CV then, but if you can't confidently tell us who you are, where are you going? So I told him it's high time he develops his communication skill. He was working in a software company at that time, but while working in that software company, he also had a small startup. He had another startup with two of his university friends. So he told me he had a small startup with two of the university friends, but he was working in a big software company in Sri Lanka. And then I said, you better go to my friend, but you have to go at least twice a month. Consistency is important. If you are to really develop your communication skill, you must find an opportunity at least twice a month, once a fortnight, to get in front of our audience and speak. Maybe a small team meeting, communicate. Maybe in the lunchroom, in some of the companies that I consult, I have made it mandatory when they have lunch, everybody stand up and they make a speech for 2 minutes on any subject before they move out of lunch. We practiced this for about 6 months, and I've been able to make most of those team members confident communicators. Confident communicators. That is what we need to make the entire team. Because if the entire team is confident communicator, you take the entire company to a higher level. So this guy started going to my friend. I said, you don't even have to pay any fees. If there's any fees, I will pay the fees, but please go and develop your communication skill. So I'm getting an update from my friend here. How is this? I call him Mr. PK, Pirulu Kali. How is Mr. PK getting on? And my friend said, he's good, he's good. He's catching up very fast. He went to my friend twice a month, 3 times a month, once a week. Religiously followed that program. Religiously followed that program. And then about 6 months later, he gives me a call. Mr. Niranjan, hi, Mr. Niranjan, your friend. I said, Mr. PK. I still call him Mr. PK. Hi, Mr. PK. How are you? Sir, good, sir. Good, sir. Sir, calling you to give you some good news, sir. I said, what is the good news? He said, sir, can you remember when we met at the Taj Hotel? I told you I was working in a software company and I was getting 850,000 rupees or something like that. 850,000 rupees. I said, yeah, I remember that. Sir, how much, sir, do you think I'm worth today? I said, I don't know, man, because your kalay is full now. Your pot is full. I don't know. Then he said, sir, today I am worth $1 million. Because that morning, he left the software company and went to his own startup. And that startup had a small fintech solution. And he promoted this fintech solution to an American venture capital company, and the American venture capital company came and invested $1 million. And then he told me, Mr. Niranjan, thank you for helping me to develop my communication skill. Because if I had not developed that skill, Mr. Niranjan, I will be still working for 850,000, 900,000 rupees. No, sir. Today I'm worth $1 million. Same man, same qualification. Earlier worth maybe 1 million Sri Lankan rupees. Today worth more than $1 million. What's the difference? The difference is he improved his communication skill, and then with that, the self-confidence, and then the leadership skill to take that company to the world. Will AI help you to take your company to the world? No way. AI will help you to develop the algorithm, the software, the solution. But if you want to take the company to the world, if you want to get a deal of $10 million, $5 million, you got to have the communication skill to convince the audience or your customer that we have this product, we have the solution, and we are the best. Trust us, we will deliver results. That's how people get business. 90% of business comes from corporate presentations. And if you're unable to do that corporate presentation in an effective manner, how can you be successful? So when you do a corporate presentation, it has to be perfect. It has to be perfect. It has to have attention-grabbing opening, a well-structured body, memorable close. It has to have your vocal variety, eye contact, body language, and the content to convince the audience. So I think we are almost there on time. I know we started about 7 minutes late. Tushini, I was supposed to finish at 4:45. Now it's 4:47. Shall we finish and take any questions, or what do you want me to do?
Yeah, we can take questions from the audience.
Fine. Okay, so I'm done. I'm done. If there are any questions, ask me. I will go to the Q&A and see whether there are any questions. Let's see. Q&A. Q&A is loading. Well, I can't see any questions. That means I think you have understood everything. Oh, I'm not sure whether the questions are there because the Q&A is rolling.
No questions posted yet. If anyone has questions, please raise if you can't post. Raise your hands if you can.
It says
I
there was
will.
a problem reaching this app. Retry. Okay, let me retry. There was a problem reaching this app. Retry. Okay, I'm retrying.
Now we have a question
Okay.
in the
So
Q&A.
we will ask AI. AI, why is my Q&A not working? Right. So I'll put AI. Why is my Q&A not working? Okay. Will AI help to develop communication skills? No. AI will help you on the techniques. AI will tell you, okay, to be a good communicator, you have to do these things. That one AI will tell. But will that make you a good communicator? No. Now you got to put it into practice. Two of my friends wanted to play golf many years back. One guy went and joined the golf club and he started playing golf. The other guy was a serious academic. He said, no. I want to handle this in a very professional manner. So he started reading all the books on golf. He started watching DVDs on world-class golf players. He went to AI. How do you become a brilliant golf player? That guy still can't play golf. Just like that. AI will give you tips and techniques. But this is a soft skill you have to develop. No one else can help you to do that. Right. Any other questions? Okay, so maybe if there are no other questions, anyway, Bistec people have my contact details. If you have any contacts, maybe you just send me an email or WhatsApp or something. I'll try to get back to you as soon as possible. If you have something burning issue you want to discuss about your soft skills, let me know, and I will definitely try to see how I can help you. So then, Tushini, over to you.
Well, today's operations track session has been a great success. Thank you so much, Mr. Niranjan De Silva, for accepting this session. Everyone, please return to the main session using the return button next to chat button.